were the only ones going into the rooms. And I got my fair share. I'll tell you that much. The doctors weren't going, the phlebotomists weren't going, social workers not going. Well, doctors were supposed to go with the nurses, but they were too scared to go. So they basically relied on us to tell them what was happening in the rooms. So it was there that we found out that it's a blood disease, not necessarily a respiratory disease, because what we knew to do when someone went into respiratory distress was to put them on a ventilator. But then that wasn't working, because you put them on a ventilator, they would die. And so because I had had some training, to cut a long story short, because I had some training in medical missionary work, I asked one of my doctors, can I do something that I know will work? And he goes, oh, you can do whatever you want. They're going to die anyway. And he was just so cynical about it. So from then I started taking items like garlic, ginger, turmeric, onions, and everything that's in the soup of rhubarb. And some in the later stages, at first I used to make tea, but in the later stages, I started giving them, make this flu balm at home and take it to work. And for those who I had permission for, I would give them oregano oil as well. And that worked wonders. I've seen one lady, it's a few ladies actually, who you give it to them, and within an hour or so, they start turning the corner. And they were telling you before, oh, I feel like I'm going to die. But then, and with prayers and these natural remedies, many of them were saved and they were able to go back home to their families. It was just so amazing. I have so many testimonies that it's unbelievable. But going back to what we're going to talk about this evening, unless you wanted me to say something else, Pastor Daly.
Well, I know you could speak for the next hour because God has blessed you so much. You're an angel to the people there. But we just wanted them to get a taste because another evening, if they want to come back, we could bring you alone for 1-2 hours. Tell your story, tell you what you do, and show them how to make it. So do what the Lord put on your mind, okay?
Okay, so as I was saying, there have been a few variants, but today we're just going to focus on the few that are making the news every day. So we are very familiar with the first variant, the original COVID-19. So some of the symptoms for that were the fever, the chills, the cough, the shortness of breath, the fatigue, the muscle or body aches, the headaches, the new loss of taste or smell, the sore throat, the congestion or runny nose, and nausea, vomiting, and diarrhea. Other symptoms included real trouble breathing, which many people experience. And they'll tell you they were so deoxygenated that they felt like they were going to die. They had, some of them, their saturation went down into the 60s, the 70s. And that was like what we consider danger zones. And then they had, they would tell you that they had chest pains. Some people, because of the low oxygen levels in their blood, they became confused and they were drowsy and sleepy all the time because the brain was not getting any oxygen. And one interesting thing that we saw in, it took us by surprise, was the blue colored skin, and the lips and the nail beds would become blue. But this one day, there was this lady who had what we call blue fingers. So, but hers was different because only one finger turned blue. So you'll be doing the saturation with that oximeter that I've showed before, and there's nothing coming up on there, and you're checking the chest to see, is this person alive? But then you realize that it's because this one finger, there's no oxygen in just the one finger. And if you move to the toes, you might find the same thing. We saw that in a couple of patients. So that was one thing that was very different. Okay, so if if you are at home and you're experiencing any of these symptoms, you have COVID-19. So then we went through that, and then came the Delta variant, which is highly transmissible. So the chair, Brad Pollock of the Department of Health Sciences, said it is this is typical. These variants that happen after the original type of virus, they tend to make the virus more easily transmitted to someone else. The virus becomes much more efficient, meaning it gets stronger. So the epidemiologists say that with the Delta variant, individuals can shed the virus for longer periods of time, giving more opportunities for the exposure. With these variants, you are at higher risk. So that is what the public health scientist has to say. Then with the Delta variant, for every 100 people you vaccinate, 7 of them on average would end with a breakthrough case. So the vaccine, the pro-vaccines are saying that the vaccines are holding up. But as we move on, you will see that with the next variant that we are well into right now, we're not holding up at all. The symptoms of the Delta variant appear to be the same as the original version of COVID-19. So you get the same symptoms, the fever, the cough, the runny nose, right? But you tend to get sicker quicker. And what is a little bit different about the Delta variant is that for the original COVID-19, it was affecting mostly the young people. Now, the Delta variant is affecting everybody, including young children, young people and young children. Then the CDC is continuing to assess the data on whether fully vaccinated people with asymptomatic breakthrough infections can transmit the virus. And there is a study out there that says that it is quite possible. Now, it's November, it's December, and last month, the Omicron variant came along. So it was reported by the World Health Organization that it started on November 26th, the WHO named Omicron and classified it as a variant of concern. On November 30, 2021, the United States designated Omicron as a variant of concern. Well, what is concerning mostly about the Omicron variant is that within 2 weeks, it has doubled, and it's doubling every day and tripling in Europe. So we know, as we saw when we thought the original COVID-19 was in Wuhan, China, I didn't think it would get here so quickly. But as you know, there is travel, people moving from place to place. It's only a matter of time before the same thing starts happening in the United States, where we are, where I am right now. I know, this is an international audience. So the danger with the Omicron is that it's excuse me, it is triple times more transmissible than the Delta variant. So, so it's going to mean more cases. The next thing about it is that it's reinfecting people who have already been infected. So that's the dangerous part of it. That just means that if you are vaccinated, it won't prevent you from getting the Omicron variant, because it's breaking through all these vaccines. And Dr. Fauci himself said last week, oh, I'm sorry. He said last week, oh, there's no need to get a vaccine for the Omicron variant. Okay, we know, because it won't work. So I think that's why he's saying that there is no need. So there is still ongoing research about it, because it's fairly new. And but the other thing is that now that there is Delta going around and there is Omicron, we are the word on the street is that we are headed into a very bad winter with the both variants working together. And I'm telling you that the best thing you can do for yourself is make sure that you are fortified and that you are doing everything that you can to keep yourself safe and keep yourselves out of the hospital setting. They are predicting that there is going to be some hospital overflows, and there aren't enough of us as is in the institutions, because the vaccine, some people have left, a lot of people are retiring, people just walking off the job. Believe me, I have seen it. So like right now, we don't have enough of us. So keep yourself safe by building your immunity, making sure that you have the products that you need, the natural products that you need to help combat this disease in your home, because you might not be able to get the attention that you require if you fall into a hospital system. So it presents like a cold, the Omicron variant, and it's not as severe as the other cases, probably because the people who have mostly weaker immunities either have had it already or they have passed away. But still, the overriding symptom is going to be your headaches, your runny nose, your sneezing, and the sore throat. And if you lose your taste and smell. So if you have any of those things, start hitting it hard, fast, and frequent. And Dr. Monet is going to tell you exactly how to do that. So keep listening, and you will get the knowledge of how you can be able to take care of yourselves to avoid these pestilences that we just discussed earlier, Dr. Daly just spoke about. Let me make sure that I have imparted to you everything that I should.
That was powerful.
Okay, I think that's it,
Yes.
Doctor. I'm gonna give Money all the time that he needs.
Well, that was very powerful. We thank you, Dana for coming on and share. We know you're on the front line, and we pray for all our nurses or healthcare providers as they have to take care of us, that the Lord too will take care of them. They have families too, and they have older folks in the family and young ones, so they need our prayers. So the more we can do to protect ourselves by the grace of God, so that we don't overrun these facilities, the better it is. And in a few minutes, Dr. Monet will come. I just want to introduce him. We're going to have a period of question and answer. So, but we want to get through some of the presentation, and near the end, we'll do that. Now, we want to thank you guys for being from being ambassadors. We were at about 80 people, and you share this with your friends, and we're at 140 now. I know those who came on, if you can share this with your friends, more people will hear and will do their best they can with God's help to protect themselves. Now, we should have a song that was sung by the Aeolians from Oakwood University. After I introduce Dr. Monet, we're going to play that song, We Shall Overcome. And then Dr. Monet will come. Dr. Monet, St. Gist, is the founder and director of this worldwide ministry, Eden Lifestyle. They have a wellness center in upstate New York. Scores of people go there. They're all over on the internet. They have been a number of times on 3ABN. And the thing that I really like, they are young people. And he will say a little more about that when they come. You see, God can use you, whatever your age, whatever your gender, whatever your stage in life, if you make yourself available. So Monet, when you come, just tell us a little thing about your ministry before you do the presentation. All right, Kmar, thank you guys. Put on the video for us now.
Amen.
Praise the Lord. Hallelujah. So let's live with that hope. Monet,
Amen.
your time. After Monet, we have a powerful testimony of somebody who overcame this. We'll share it with you later on. Take over, son.
Amen. Wow, wow. Thank you for that song. We shall overcome. We shall overcome. Let us pray as we get into our study, our discussion here, and also what we're looking at for this evening. Let's pray. Father in heaven, we thank you so much. We know that we shall be overcomers, and even as we go throughout these things tonight, today, wherever we are, we ask, oh Lord, that you will guide, you will lead, you will instruct, and the information that will be presented, oh Father, we pray that it will be a blessing to each and every one of us here that have joined us. Thank you so much. In Jesus' name, amen. Amen. So today we're going to be looking at, we're going to be exploring a very, very important topic here. We have seen how COVID, and what I'm going to do here today, I'm also going to turn off my video because of the internet connectivity where I'm at right now. I wish I could leave it on. So I'm also going to switch my audio device so that you can hear me clearly today. So with that as well, we just want to thank each and every one of you for joining us. And I know that some are already on their way. What I want you to do is keep inviting your friends, my friends, because we're going to look at very, very important things that are hitting our world even right now. This thing, we thought it would have ended a long time ago, but it's just keep moving and moving and moving. So with that as well, we're going to look at natural remedies to fight COVID and top comorbidities as well. Now, as we look here again, I want you to remember this quotation here. I'm going to go a quick run through in this preliminary portion of our presentation so that we can get into there, because some of us may be new for the first time. Also, I'm just going to do a little recap from the last time that we met before, so we can understand the context of what we're going to be looking at here, even right now. Well, as Pastor Daly said, I want to thank Pastor Daly as well for the invitation and Healing of the Nation for being here with you to share with you what the Lord has in store. And also, we just want to be able to thank Healing of the Nations and the entire team as well for putting on this powerful time in which we can spend to learn more and to help many families around the world. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure that this broadcast and this ministry here has been such a blessing to so many people, not only in the United States, but all over the world. Also, I want to put there too, I am part of a ministry called Eden Lifestyle, and we are located in upstate New York, and we worked with many people over the years with many different types of ailments that they have suffered with, from blood pressure to diabetes to cancer, even with people with COVID as well. So we have helped individuals, across basically the United States, and even people that have come from different parts of the world as well, to be able to come and receive healing and restoration. And so this is what we do on a regular basis. So what I'm going to be sharing with you here today will not be theory, right? I just want to let you know that these are things that we have used, tested, tried, I've seen at face value as well. So I'm going to be sharing with you these things as if I truly believe in it, because I do. I have seen how it impacted people's lives and how it has changed lives as well of individuals with many different types of ailments. And we continue to pray and ask God for wisdom more and more to be able to provide the best possible solutions to help with the most severe issues that people are faced with in the world. So I want you to keep that in mind too, okay? So with that in mind, I want you to go to a very, very important, quotation here found in a book, a beautiful book called Counsels on Health. Dr. Daly said before, one of the most prolific writers, top writers in the United States history, female, she wrote this, the contents of this book, and is found in the book called Counsels on Health, right? Page 5 or 6. Notice very carefully here. It says, as religious aggression subverts the liberties of our nation, those who stand for freedom of conscience will be placed in unfavorable positions. For their own sake, they should, while they have opportunity, become intelligent in regard to disease, its causes, prevention, and cure. And those who do this will find a field of labor. How many places? Anywhere. There will be what? Suffering ones, plenty of them, who will need help, not only among those of our own faith, but largely, I said it again, but largely among those who know not the truth. My friends, now is the opportune time for you, for us to be equipped. As you realize it more and more, even as Donnelly beautifully laid it out as well, the importance of how we must learn how to care for ourselves, my friends, because these things are changing, variants are coming out more and more. And so therefore, if we can't find the most effective way to deal with these things, then what should we do then? What should we do? It seems as if we are going around in circles when you listen to the news reports. What should we know? Number one, disease. Number two, its causes. Number three, prevention, that is important. Number four, and its cure. How to deal with these conditions if you were to be able to contract it. My friends, as we looked at here before, this will not be the first or the last. More are coming. Are you following this? We have to learn how to care for ourselves and our families. One of the best places for healing that needs to be multiplied all over will be your homes. Are you following this? We have to be able to take charge of our own health, our lives, and our families, because this is the era that we are in right now. Look here with me again. We looked at this before. I'm just going to briefly go over this. We're not going to spend a lot of time there, but we want to get right into the solutions here today, okay? That's the main reason why you're here today. We're going to look at some practical solutions and how you can be able to help yourselves and your family. But we see that a foundation has been laid out for us from the Word of God, where Jesus dealt with a very serious or even terminal issue with a man that was born blind, which is found in John 9 and verse 1. Now, with this as well, throughout all the instances of healing, time and time again, as Jesus went about healing and so forth, you notice that the healing was different, right? Remember the centurion that says, speak the word, my servant shall be healed. Remember the woman with the issue of blood. Remember that she touched the hem of his garment. As a result, she was healed. Remember the man that was by the pool of Bethesda. Remember that he told him to get up, pick up your bed and go. Remember as well when the man that was sick, paralytic, and he came down through the rooftop and so forth, and Jesus healed him. But in this instance, of the man that was born blind, something different occurred there. In John 9 and verse 6, the Bible says, when he had thus spoken, he spat on the ground and made clay of the spittle. He anointed the eyes of the blind man with the clay. You notice, my friends, that Jesus used what is called the natural, product of the earth to be able to formulate some sort of a remedy for the man that had a very terminal condition. And in modern science today, we will deem this man as incurable. Are you following this? It's almost like there's no return for him. Born blind, hopeless. Right? That's how we will deem this man today. But notice very carefully that Jesus did something that was totally contrary to popular belief, right? Contrary to popular belief. So what natural formula did Jesus use for the man that was blind? Notice that he spat on the ground. He used spit. Notice that is warm spit. he made a spittle of that clay. He mixed it together and made some sort of like a poultice or some sort of like some mixture there. Are you following this? And then notice very carefully, and then he anointed, he smeared over the eyes of the blind man with the clay. And some may look at this today. If anyone were to do this for somebody with terminal conditions today, my friends, you will say that person has something wrong with their brain. Are you following this? But my friends, notice very carefully that Jesus is not just any person. Are you following this? This is the great physician. And notice what the one that made man understands humanity inside out. Notice exactly what he did. He used clay, my friends, dirt. He used some product from the earth, right? He mixed it together. He activated that clay. He made what we know as today as somewhat of a clay poultice. And if anyone know anything about clay poultices are very powerful in drawing out toxins and toxic buildup, even on topically in the surface of the skin, or even internally as well when used correctly. It's a very, very powerful poultice. I can spend, the rest of this evening talking about clay and clay remedies and the wonders of clay and how you can use clay in so many different ways. But in this case, we're gonna move forward here today. So Jesus he smeared over this poultice over this man's eye, and what was the result? What was the outcome of this procedure? What was the outcome of this procedure? Now, as you look here with Dr. Jesus now, our great physician, as he did this, notice what the result came back, and notice what it says in John 9 and verse 7, and said unto him, go wash in the pool of Siloam, right? Which is by the interpretation sent. And notice what happened. He went his way, therefore, and what else? And wash. And what was the result? He came back seeing, my friends. That is amazing. I want you to register that in your mind. Register how powerful Jesus is when you depend on him, when you trust in him for healing, and when you use the things that he has endorsed. Are you following this? This man was healed. Now, in that book, Counsels in Health, page 30, notice what it says here. In the Savior's manner of healing, there were lessons for his disciples. On one occasion, he anointed the eyes of the blind man with clay and bade him go wash in the pool of Siloam. He went his way, therefore he washed, he came seeing, John 9 and verse 7. The cure could be wrought only by the great healer, yet Christ made use of the simple agencies of nature. Just like Dr. Daly said before, my friends, science alone is not enough for the conflicts that we are seeing in our world, even right now. Are you listening to me? It is not enough. We need the intervention of a great physician, which is Jesus Christ. Now, while he did not give countenance now to drug medication, he sanctioned the use of simple and natural remedies. And this is what we're going to be looking at here for the remainder of our evening as we look at these preliminaries. And we're going to look at these things in details. And it's important for us to be able to understand these things, to know how to use them intelligently. It seems as if we have lost the art of using natural remedies, simple remedies intelligently. Are you following this? Because that's the times in which we are living in right now. Okay, do we deny faith when we use natural remedies? Because some may say, well, you know what, I can just pray for, well, there's a lot of people praying for people right now in the hospital because of COVID-19, and some are going down in their graves, my friends. Yes, we need prayer, but we also need prayer mingled with faith, right? And faith without what? Action or works is dead, being alone. I wanted to keep that in mind. Now, Healthful Living, page 241, notice what it tells us here, very important. If in praying for healing, they refuse to use the simple remedies provided by God to alleviate pain and to aid nature in her work, lest it be a denial of faith. They are taking an unwise position. I want you to notice very carefully here, right? Through simple and natural remedies, it can help to alleviate issues. Are you following this? Alleviate problems, pain, and issues that people experience It also, this is what it does as well. It also aids, it assists the body in her work. Now, if you could understand the concept very clearly, you're going to unlock, my friends, the answers to many health conflicts or health issues that people experience. Because when you realize this more and more and more, with the work of healing, we are not working against the body. That's why we shouldn't do things that work against the human body. Are you following this? Because the human body has a natural response to healing. Therefore, if you get sick or you have a disease or some sort of an ailment, the body naturally wants to get well. But sometimes as well, it can't do it effectively or efficiently, not because the body can't do it per se, but it's because we have abused the body for so long, it doesn't have enough resource to do that. But therefore, we must be able to now assist the body. We want to help the body in its natural process, help nature with her work, right? Now, when you look here again, as I continue to read here, it says, it is not a denial of faith. Let me read that one more time. It is not a denial of faith. You're actually exercising faith when you use these things in accordance to God's will. Now, it is in strict harmony with the plans of God. Amen. Strict harmony with the plans of God. So what are some examples of simple remedies here? Now, the Bible talks about different types of remedies, and we can find many instances of them throughout the scripture. I'm just going to highlight just a few of them here today. Now, the use of herbs and even kitchen remedies. In other words, my friends, you can take your kitchen right now and go into your kitchen and transform your kitchen to a pharmacy. F-A-R-M-A-C-Y, right? F-A-R-M-C-Y. Are you following this? A pharmacy, F-A-R-M-A-C-Y. Are you following this? Therefore, you can transform your kitchen. And we have to learn how to do these things, especially in the critical times in which we now live. Are you hearing me today? In the critical times in which we now live, you must learn how to care for yourself, how to take charge of your health. And if anyone in your household were to get sick, you must know how to care for them. And that's why, like meetings like this on the Hill of the Nations is so vital, so critical to many individuals. And this is why, as well, we are having the healing for a hurting world in January, right? January 14th to February the 5th, because we want to bring practical solutions to people all around, my friends. Like, Nurse Donnelly said here that we are heading, the word on the street is that we are heading into a dark winter. So we must learn how to care for ourselves now. Another thing here in Second Kings 5, which talks about hydrotherapy. Remember Naaman? Naaman went and dipped how many times? 7 times in the water. He went down to that cold river. Remember that cold river water came up in the heat of the sun, hot and cold and hot. Are you following this? Hot and cold. My friends, this is amazing. Cleansing. The Bible talks about cleansing as well. 2 Corinthians 7 verse 1. The Bible also speaks about juicing, right? Juicing as a remedy or medicine. 1 Timothy 5 verse 23. Massage and essential oils. James 5 and verse 14. Ointments and poultices. 2 Kings chapter 20 verse 7. Jeremiah 46 verse 11. These healing arts, my friends, these healing modalities, nothing new, my friends. Nothing new at all. So we looked at the basis of health now is based upon obedience to the laws of health. And also we see that disease now is an effort of nature to free the system from conditions that result from what? From a violation of the laws of health. Keep in mind. So what are the laws of health? Pure air, sunlight, abstemiousness, rest, exercise, proper diet, use of water, trust in divine power. These are the true remedies. And these are the things, my friends, you should be exposing yourself to, you should be engaged with on a regular basis. We have to take care of ourselves. That is very, very important, especially in these critical times. Now, I'm not going to get into all the specifics of what COVID-19 is, because we've been hearing about this for a long, long time. I, like you, want to get to the meat, to the solutions. Are you following this? Okay. So let's look here with me together. Now, there are certain comorbidities as well and risk associated with that of COVID-19. Now, according to like CDC, due to COVID-19 being a relatively new and unstudied disease, right? And of course, over the past months and years and so forth, we have even gathered data, but we are still learning a lot of how these things are working, because now we are seeing a lot more variants coming out, right? And we hearing about them, some of them because they're popular, and some of them are not even popular. There are many variants identified around the world, right? Now, due to COVID-19 being a relatively new and unstudied disease, the data available is limited, right? However, from the cases that emerge, it was observed that comorbidities increase the chances of infection, and even that not only the infection, but also your chances of serious symptoms of COVID-19 and possibly death as well. So I wanted to keep that foundation in mind, because many times, people will love to just focus on the COVID itself, which, yes, is deadly. We should be able to help and assist individuals with that, but also wanted to focus on your lifestyle now, right? And even some of those comorbidities. Now, what are some of these issues that people experience, that the common diseases that they see that people actually have that suffered with severe COVID symptoms as a result of contracting this disease? We can see here again that people who have things such as hypertension. So if you may be hypertensive, have what is called high blood pressure, it's very important for you to get that under control, my friends, because that can lead to serious issues. Other cardiovascular conditions, diabetes, coexistent infections, right? And so forth. And the list can go on. Even renal disorders, immunodeficiencies as well, respiratory issues, right? Even malignancy and so forth. The underlying medical conditions in COVID-19 confirm hospitalized cases, and that was back in 2020. Notice what it says here again. It talks to us and it tells us that it's hypertension, 49% of individuals, obesity, chronic lung disease, diabetes, cardiovascular diseases. That sounds to me like America's top killers. Are you following this? That sounds like lifestyle conditions that is impacting individuals. And you can see that people who have these conditions and also have COVID-19 may be more prone to be hospitalized or have much more severe symptoms of COVID-19 and even possibly death. Are you following this? Now, there are other top different symptoms that people experience when it comes to COVID-19, such as fevers, right? Dry mouth, fatigue. People even get headaches, right? Very like severe headaches and sore throats, muscle pains, right? Shortness of breath. And these are things, I mentioned this to you as well, because you have to identify these things. Keep these things in mind, because if somebody in your home or in your community start experiencing these type of symptoms, it's probably going to be easier to identify whether or not they may have to be tested and so forth to see if they have the COVID issue. Now, also here as well, headaches, diarrhea, nausea, vomiting, right? Abdominal pain, chest pains, and the symptoms may vary based upon the individual as well, right? And there's also very strange symptoms as well, where people may have like, loss of taste. They may not taste for a long time, or their hearing may go get dim for a little bit, and there's a lot of strange symptoms that are coming out of this condition. Now, some of the comorbidities associated with high risk for severe COVID are diseases such as cancer. We looked at some of those before. Chronic kidney disease, chronic lung disease, dementia, diabetes, Down syndrome, heart conditions, HIV infection, right? Immunocompromised state, liver disease, overweight and obesity, pregnancy, sickle cell disease, right? Even people who are smoking and those who were current smokers or even former smokers, right? Strokes and solid organ or even blood stem cell transplant, substance use disorders. So there are many people that are at high risk for COVID-19. And that's why today we're going to be looking at some solutions you can use for probably the top of these, right? Like blood pressure, diabetes, and as we look at these things as well, we're going to touch on a few others as well. So we want to keep that in mind, because we must be able to address these underlying conditions that are impacting people or putting them at high risk, okay? So therefore, now, a very important constant that we want to keep in mind, because there's one thing that we all have, that God has given to each and every one of us, and that is an immune system, right? We know that sometimes we may compromise the immune system. The immune system may be weakened over time based upon if you have certain types of ailments or diseases or even lifestyle practices that may weaken the immune system. So what is the immune system's role in fighting COVID-19? Now, that's very critical for us to keep in mind. Although, you may hear that the, effectiveness or non-effectiveness of certain types of treatments that they're using for COVID-19 today, right? Or some sort of modalities that they're using today. But my friends, if you can really focus in, really focus in on your immune system, boost your immune system, strengthen your immune system, you're going to find that it's going to remain one of the most effective ways to fight these viruses. That's what God has given to humanity, my friends. That is amazing. We have to use what God has given to us. So the immune system protects us against bacteria, viruses, and fungi. Very important. That's the mechanism. That's the fighter, the fight of viruses, bacteria, and fungi that may develop in the system. So with that as well, we're going to look at 4 steps to fighting now these top killer diseases and these top comorbidities as well that we are faced with in our world. What are these 4 steps that we're going to look at? Step number 1, find out what is causing your issue. You may have blood pressure. You may have diabetes. Maybe you may be obese or overweight. What is causing it, my friends? It could be eating habits. Could be what you're putting inside of you, right? It could be what you're feeding your minds on, or what's killing you in your brain. Are you following this, right? It could also be, there's many factors of maybe exercise habits, or if you're drinking water or not, or what you are consuming. You must go back to the root cause of what is causing that particular ailment. We cannot ignore that. We have to be real with ourselves. Are you following this? We have to be honest with ourselves and truly identify what is the true cause of why am I sick today? Why am I in this position today? Also, step number 2, unhealthful conditions should be changed. We cannot keep doing, my friends, we cannot keep doing the same thing over and over and miraculously, right, or magically expect something different to happen to us. We must be able to, as you identify what is the cause, the root cause of these issues, then, my friends, we have to go about helping, changing these conditions that are unhealthful. Some of us are living in the stress of our minds because of our jobs, my friends. And we have to be real with ourselves today. You may have to change your job, and that's a realistic approach. Are you following this? Or maybe you have to learn how to deal with the situation at work differently. Are you following this? Okay. Or else you're going to be in a position where you're constantly stressed out, and being under that constant stress for a prolonged period of time can lead to severe problems, can even weaken your immune system. And that's not what you want to do right now. Now, some other conditions may be a smoke-filled environment. Maybe you live or work in a smoke-filled environment that needs to be changed and so forth. There's so many different factors that may affect us over time. Also, step 3, wrong habits must be corrected. Are you following this? Wrong habits must be corrected. That could be habits of eating, habits of sleeping, habits of drinking. We know the habits that we have that we know that, we need to turn around from, right? Make a U-turn, basically. Okay. Maybe we're not getting the exercise that we need to. We're very sedentary, right? If you want to start to develop those healthy habits, you can always start, my friends, little by little, right? Sometimes we may have big dreams and goals and say, you know what? I want to exercise 1 hour every single day, right? And we know that we're coming from not exercising at all to 1 hour a day. You might be very discouraged after 2 or 3 days of doing this and figuring out that, hey, wait a minute, this is difficult for me. So what you can do, and there's lots of studies showing us that if you make incremental changes, small changes, that these are more sustainable, more long-lasting than people who try to make these abrupt, massive, big dream goals and changes right away when it comes to their health and when it comes to the habits that they have. Now, for example, if you want to develop a healthy exercise habit, then instead of just sitting down and listening to me, every now and then stand up for about 5 minutes, or and just walk in place. Are you following this? It's very simple. Just walk in place for 5 minutes and do that every day, and that could be a powerful start of making a life change in your life that can impact your health in a dramatic way, right? That's just one example here. There's so much we can get into here today. Step number 4, then nature is to be assisted. We have to assist. We have to help. We have to aid the body in her efforts to do 2 important things. Number 1, expel impurities, right? Expel impurities by reducing the toxicity in the system through detoxification, through cleansing the body in the most safe way possible. Number 2 here again, to reestablish now the right condition in the system, to reestablish right conditions in the system. Now, these are the steps that we should go through. And in step number 4, my friends, how do we then assist nature? How do we then assist nature? We can assist nature then through the use of natural remedies. Right? Natural remedies. Because the reason why we went over these steps, because some people love to just skip and go to step number 4 right away, right? Or we know what we will be doing is almost like we're taking natural remedies like a drug, right? We just kind of like maintaining ourselves. But what you want to truly do is to experience true victory over that disease or over that ailment that you experience. And are you following this? We don't just want to maintain. We don't just want to, right, just balance. We want to be able to experience, my friends, freedom from pain, right? Freedom from suffering. Are you following this? Jesus wants us to be whole, my friends. That's his desire for you and I. And so we're going to look at now natural remedies to fight hypertension. Natural remedies to fight hypertension. We're going to be spending the majority of our evening here today, or afternoon, wherever you're joining us around the world, or morning, wherever you are, to be able to understand now the remedies that we're going to be using here today. I know that some of us will have lots and lots of questions as we get into this even right now. So with that as well, just follow me with me very carefully as we get into this topic here today. We're going to try our best to cover as much as we can. And I already can tell that time will be against us, but by the grace of God, we're going to go into it as best as we can so you can understand exactly what we are discovering here today. So the first thing here is we want to look at is natural remedies to lower blood pressure. So one drink that we have probably shared before, and for some people who may not know, and it's okay too. You can take a screenshot of these screens. You can take a picture of this. You can write these notes down and take these down as well. And these remedies that I'm going to be sharing with you here today, these are not just things that we just take from a book or whatever, right? These are things that has been tested, has been used, has been modified over time, and we have seen the results of individuals. Now, keep in mind as well, everything may work different for you than it worked for somebody else. Are you following this? So there's a few principles I'm going to be going over today as we understand natural remedies, because it's not a one-size-fits-all approach. That's not how the human body works. Unfortunately, that's not how it works. And unfortunately, some may think that it's a one-size-fits-all approach, right? Just one style of thing to give the masses, and all of a sudden we can control things, right? The human body works a little bit different than that. Everybody responds differently. Something that may work for somebody else may not work for somebody else, right? So I wanted to keep that principle in mind. That's why we're going to look at varieties of things that can be done for the same problem, right? Because some people may have other conditions or may be doing other things where the remedy may not necessarily work in that case. Are you following this? So with the blood pressure, there is a drink that you can make for that as well. Now, using 2 grapefruits. Now, grapefruit is very, very powerful. We're not going to have a lot of time to get into all the nitty-gritty of these types of foods, but grapefruit really helps, right, to be able to reduce the cholesterol that is clogging blood vessels as well, right? And I know that for some individuals where grapefruit may not serve them best because of certain medications that they're on, you can always leave the grapefruits out of this remedy and just increase the lemon. So you can replace the 2 grapefruits with another, for every 1 grapefruit, put about 2 lemons in there. So that would be about 4 lemons, right? So, so 2 grapefruits. We're going to look at 3 lemons. You want to put all of these things into 2 onions, right? 2 medium-sized onions, 6 cloves of garlic, half a raw eggplant, and 10 cups of water. These are the main ingredients that you will need. How do we make it then? First of all, what you want to do is to chop the garlic. Okay, you want to chop the garlic. You want to chop the onions. Then you want to cut the, cut the eggplant in round pieces and cubes, right? Little slices. And then you want to be able to add that to water, right? To 10 cups of water in a pot. Medium-sized pot, you want to bring this up to a boil. Bring this up to a boil, right? And as soon as you bring it up to a boil, then you want to bring the, whatever you're using to heat, you want to bring that down to low, that this may simmer, right? This may simmer for another boil and simmer for another 10 minutes or so. What you're doing really is making a tea, right? You're making a tea out of the ingredients of garlic, onions, and eggplant in water. Bring it up to a boil, let it simmer for about 10 minutes, and then you want to let that sit. You want to let that sit for about 24 hours. 24 hours, okay? It's very important to keep that in mind, okay? 24 hours, let it sit. And then after, when you let it sit for about 24 hours to draw, then you want to strain that tea. You want to strain the tea. In other words, you want to get rid of the pulp of that combination. And then you want to take the squeezed juice from the grapefruits and from the lemons, and then you want to add it to that tea. You want to add it to that tea. Then afterwards, you want to use about 3 ounces, even up to about, half a cup or even a cup. It all depends on the severity of the problem. And then you want to use that about 3 times daily. 3 times daily. Now, there's a man that, I've never met him before. He lived in Africa. He was able to use this remedy. And the only reason why we know is because he sent us an email. He said, I tried this out. And in about 20-something day, on the 20th or 24th day of doing this, his blood pressure had already normalized, right? He did this every day by just using this tea. Just imagine, my friends, just imagine using this tea together with the lifestyle changes like exercise, having a healthy, whole food, plant-based diet. Just imagine the effectiveness of this remedy and how much more it can help you. Now, the problem that many of us, some of us may experience when it comes to these things, that sometimes people may say, well, I've been trying things for so many years, it's not working for me. We have to be able to try things consistently. Are you following this? We have to be consistent. You cannot experience the results that you need to experience if you're not consistently trying and using the things in which to make you better. Are you following this? This is very, very critical, right? And now, in some cases, now it all depends on the severity of the blood pressure problem. Maybe some people may have pressure that may be very, very high. There may be a different approach that we will use for blood pressure that is extremely high. But if you have high blood pressure, hypertension, and so forth, you must get it under control, or else you will be more at risk, my friend. You're going to be at a high risk for severe problems with COVID-19 or issues, right? So we want to be able to get this under control. Now, keep this in mind as well, that in some cases, what we have done is using the same cup, the 10 cups of water, but what I've done is double the ingredients. In other words, I've used like 4 grapefruits, 6 lemons, 4 onions, and a clove of garlic, basically 12 cloves of garlic, not 1 clove, but a whole bulb of garlic, right? And also a whole eggplant in 10 cups of water. And I've used that for people with severe pressure problems, right? Severe issues with their blood pressure, right? And that, of course, that requires a smaller dose. Are you following this? Because it's very important. So that people can experience that healing. And when we use it that way, the dramaticness of how it actually increased the effectiveness of this remedy was amazing to me. How much quicker that people actually started to experience the results, right? So some people, this may be, if it may be too much, you may always want to use more water to dilute it, because you want to use based upon how you are able to handle this. Okay, because everybody's body works differently. Okay, so the next thing here too is nature's chelation therapy. That is the use of grapefruits, right? Grapefruit as a natural chelation. help to break down cholesterol, clogging the blood vessels, and so forth. And that's for people who are able to use the grapefruits, right? If you're not able to use the grapefruits, that may not be the best remedy for you. Are you following this? Okay. So in this case, if you want to be able to lower cholesterol levels, I know that some people, you may go for, testing out and so forth, blood tests, and they may come back and say that, hey, you have high cholesterol. Now, the first thing that you want to do is go back to the root cause. And most of the times, basically from animal sources or animal products are one of the leading drivers, right? Of dietary cholesterol. Are you following this? Okay, that's by the use of animal foods or animal products. Are you following this? That's like, for example, flesh items, flesh meats, or cheese, or eggs, or different things like that, my friends. Okay, so let me keep that in mind. You always have to go back to the cause. Work to this one man as well, right? Because one day he came to us and said, my doctor said that my cholesterol is high and I may have to be on medication for the rest of my life. But he said that I don't want to be on cholesterol medication for the rest of my life. I say, well, if you don't want to be on cholesterol medication for the rest of your life, are you willing to try something different? Right? He said, yes, I'm willing to. I say, are you sure you're willing to try something different? I said, okay. All right. So I said, this is what I want you to do. Try it for about a month. Okay, or even 3 months. Let's try it out and go back and do a test, because cholesterol, you can balance it almost quickly, right? We've seen it happen very fast. Okay, so this man, what I told him to do, that you have to go back to the cause. What is driving? What is causing that cholesterol? He said, well, I can't think of anything that I'm eating that's probably like raising my cholesterol. I said, are you sure? He said, yeah, I can't think of nothing, man. I said, are you sure? He said, oh, I know, I eat fish about once a week. I said, well, that's enough. That's enough to raise your cholesterol. He said, really? I said, yes. Okay. I said, try this out. Stop eating the fish for about a month to 3 months, right? And see what happens just by doing that alone. Because you know what? Just do that alone and see what happens. Also exercise and drink some water, because we always try to tell people sometimes to do the thing that is, that is probably they don't have to buy anything like extra per se. You know what I mean? Like, what can be done for them that they can experience results, right? So this man was able to do this. And my friends, in about a month, this guy came back and said his cholesterol levels had already went to the normal range. Are you seeing this? Yes, he did have to make some changes, because, of course, if you want to experience results, you have to make a change. And that may call for making a dramatic change in your life, my friends. And it's all what you really want today. It's what we really want, right? If you really want to be well, then you have to make a choice. You have to make a change, okay? So in this case, too, for people who may have high cholesterol levels, eating 2 grapefruits a day, every day for about 30 days. So that's about 2 by 30, that's 60 grapefruits, right? If you do that, my friends, you will be quite surprised to know how quickly cholesterol levels can drop, right? And that's a very powerful way to do it, natural way, even a delicious way. I love eating grapefruits. I enjoy grapefruits tremendously, and that's one way to do it as well. Now, another thing here too as well, when it comes to cholesterol levels and blood pressure, is that of hawthorn berry. Now, I'm not sure if any one of us, I know some of us here have heard about this before, but also I want to emphasize this too. Hawthorn is used to help protect against heart disease and help control high blood pressure. My friend, hawthorn berries are so effective. And I don't think we understand truly how effective these things actually is, especially in combating heart disease. That's one of the comorbidities as well when it comes to COVID-19. Okay. Hawthorn is used to protect against heart disease, help control high blood pressure, and also high cholesterol. Both animal and also human studies suggest hawthorn increases, right, coronary artery blood flow, improves the circulation, and lowers blood pressure. It has also been used on the skin to treat boils and also skin sores as well. Now, that is that of hawthorn berries. Yes, it is so effective. And we use it as well. You can use that even in conjunction with the blood pressure drink that we looked at here before, right? So we can see here, my friends, that when you use these things correctly, you will begin to experience these powerful results. Now, sometimes it may work differently for some people, you know what I mean? Or the time frame, the duration may be different for some individuals as well. Now, what I want to put out there as well, because some people may say, well, how long should I do this? How long should I do that? Well, you want to do that and monitor yourself closely, because you have to monitor, because especially things like blood pressure, you don't want to go high to low. Are you following this? Okay, so it's important for you, especially if an individual is on medication, you must consult with your physician as you're doing these things in conjunction. I don't encourage people at all to just come off medications abruptly. That's not safe. Are you following this? Right? To just come off it abruptly, but rather to allow the body to heal itself, and then the body will let you know how to decrease that. Now, you have to be able to consult with your physician as well, to be able to aid in that process. All right, to help you out in that process as well. And sometimes you may have to exercise wisdom. Are you following this? It's your body, it's your choice. You may have to exercise wisdom. So how long, somebody said it, Janet said, how long before someone can stop cholesterol medications before they can start the grapefruits, right? Before they can start the grapefruit, okay? So for individuals as well, I want to mention that again, if just in case anybody did not hear that one too. I just want to put it out in general. For people who may use certain types of medication where grapefruit, kind of like make that medication non-effect, basically, you want to be able to use something a little bit different, right? So in that case as well, for individuals who may have the high cholesterol, you can use what is called flaxseed, right? Flaxseed meal, right? Flaxseeds about a tablespoon twice or 3 times a day can actually help tremendously. Even lemons in water, 1 whole lemon in water every day, that can also help as well as a fat burner. Flaxseed can actually help as well, or some people may call it lean seed as well. Okay, keep that in mind. So how long before someone can stop cholesterol medications? Well, I can't give an accurate answer on that. One thing that I do know is that if the grapefruit affects the medication, then you want to be careful and be mindful of that, right? And I'm going to answer this question in general. So generally speaking, if your cholesterol levels start to normalize, then you want to be able to go to then you want to get a test, and the doctor, your physician, will be able to cut down the medication or even take you off of that as well. You want to transition yourself, okay? Also, understand that grapefruit interferes with medication, and we should try to avoid grapefruit when on medication. That's what Marlene is asking there, or stating. Should we be concerned about having grapefruit with vitamins? Concerned about having grapefruit with vitamins? No, I haven't seen any issues, in generally speaking, with grapefruit and certain types of vitamins as well. So I haven't seen any issues with that too. So Marlene, thank you so much for that statement as well. So the next thing that we're going to look at is, how do we use hawthorn? How do we use hawthorn then? How do we use hawthorn? Hawthorn Rebuilder. We call it the Hawthorn Rebuilder, right? Helps with heart disease and blood pressure, cholesterol problems. You want to take about 1 tablespoon of hawthorn berry powder. 1 tablespoon of hawthorn berry powder in half a cup of water. Now, if you don't have the hawthorn berry powder, they may have the hawthorn syrup, right? Or they may have different forms of the hawthorn, right? Okay, so you can take the powder, put it in half a cup of water, mix the hawthorn berry powder in a cup of water, and drink that about 3 times a day, right? 3 times a day. And that is basically, you will see that this is very, very powerful and very effective. Now, I want you to keep in mind that if you have high blood pressure, you must check yourself on a regular basis. Don't get discouraged if you don't see anything happen in a day or 2 days or 3 days, right? Because it is not for the swift. It's for those that endure. And natural remedies, it works slowly. Are you following this? Because it rebuilds, it repairs, it restores. That's what it does, right? It don't take a day to build a house. Are you following this? Unless you're buying a tent from some sort of a supermarket, so not a supermarket, but some sort of a store, right? But to build a house takes time. To repair and to renovate and to restore a house does take time, okay? Does take time. So you want to be able to keep that in mind, okay? You have to keep the long term in mind. because it didn't take you one day to get blood pressure. Are you following me this? It don't take you one day to get that. Okay, it happens over time. And therefore you must give yourself time to heal. Time. If I tell you the amount of times that people want quick fixes, you want it now, I want it fast, I want it like a microwave mindset, right? Like a microwave mindset. So so you definitely want to be able to keep that in mind, okay? Keep that in mind, that you must be able to allow the body to go through its healing process to rebuild, to restore, and to bring about that healing that it so desires to bring about for you, okay? Next thing here we're going to look at is garlic honey mixture combination as well. Now we know that garlic is, so effective in so many different ways, especially for blood pressure and other issues as well, right? Garlic is amazing, my friends. Garlic is amazing. So with the garlic, we have to learn how to use garlic effectively. And we have been experimenting and using garlic for many, many years. And my friends, when you use garlic the right way, you will be quite surprised to see the results with garlic use, okay? With garlic use. Now, also, some researchers suggest that garlic increases the body's production of nitric oxide, which helps the smooth muscles to relax and the blood vessels to dilate. Okay, these changes can reduce hypertension. One study reported that garlic extract reduced both the systolic and the diastolic blood pressure in hypertensive people. And I know that sometimes people may say, well, I've been using garlic for so long, I haven't seen anything differently. Well, it could be how you're using the garlic. Maybe you're not using the right, amounts of garlic, okay? Or the right type of remedy when it comes to garlic, okay? Garlic is very effective. Also, garlic is antimicrobial, antifungal, antibacterial, antiviral. Garlic is so effective. Like, Nurse Donnelly was sharing with us early on how she used the garlic as well in one of the mixtures that she was using. Even they allowed her to do that even at the hospital for people who are experiencing these severe issues of COVID, right? Of COVID. So before I go on to the garlic here today, I just want to go over a few of the questions here that we had here as well. Edwards here, Claudette, Claudette here. I'm going to go over a few things here as we get along through this, because I know that some of us will be having lots of questions that come up. And we also will leave some time for questions to be answered at the end as well. But since we are in context, I want to answer some of the questions in context, and some we may have to leave for the end of the presentation here as well. Now, so Claudette said, I know blood pressure medication is not good with grapefruit. What can you use in the place of that? Okay, so what can you use in the place of that? You can use lemons, right? You can use hawthorn, like we looked at before. You can make the high blood pressure drink, like we also looked at before in this presentation. You can also use the garlic that we're going to be talking about here today. So there's different things that can be used, right? That can be used. Grapefruit is not the only thing. There's other things that can be used. That's why we've given you many options here. Also, Edwards asked here as well, if you have the hawthorn liquid extract, what portion should you be having as well? Now, you can always use what is recommended on the bottle as well, because I'm not sure what type of extract, what they're using to extract it, but you can always use the recommendation there as well. But hawthorn extract, a liquid extract, is very potent. Also, if you understand anything about herbs and herbal remedies as well, there's certain types of combinations or preparations that may be more effective than other types of preparations as well, right? The extracts may be more potent. Okay, that's why I love extracts, because we can see the results a little bit faster than usual, right? If you want to do it the other way, right? And so that's a very good question here too as well. So you can use what's recommended. Sister Vera here said, so you cannot just stop medication, discuss it with your health provider. You need to be stable before discontinuing your prescribed medication, as disclaimer clearly stated. Yeah, absolutely. That's the safest way to do this, especially if you're working with or dealing with blood pressure or diabetes or any sort of these issues where you can find that natural remedies may impact you a little bit quicker. You definitely will have to transition, right? Have to transition. That's very important. And that's how we assist people in the process. You have to transition. They have to cut it down for you over time, and then you can live without it, once that is cut down and also reduce over time. Okay, but you have to make the changes. Yes, and also Love said here, patience is a virtue. Virtue develops the mind and character of Christ. Amen. That is correct, because it's a process. You have to be very patient with this process. If you're not patient, you're not going to do this for long. Okay, you got to be very patient with the process. That's why some people don't experience the healing, because they're not patient. They want to get fixed fast. Okay, they want to heal fast, and if they don't see it fast, they go to something else, or they listen to they try a million things. Okay, and they say nothing works for me. Okay, said here, what's the correct way to use garlic? We're gonna go look at that today. Kay, thank you so much for that. Okay, we're gonna get right into the garlic here today. I see a lot of questions for garlic, so let us go right into that today. So there's many ways in which we can use garlic, many different ways to use garlic as well. So that is important to keep in mind. Somebody said here, I just want to mention that too. I don't eat any type of meat nor fish either. My good cholesterol is above normal. Okay, so in that case too, you may want to look at what you are consuming, because sometimes your body can produce the excessive cholesterol as well. Maybe some people may have excessive excessive fats in the diet, lots of oils and fried foods, even if it's tofu and it's olive oil, right? We can overdo it or prepare it in the wrong way, even coconut oils and so forth. Some people may use these things excessively. Okay, now I'm not saying that these foods actually have cholesterol in them. Only animal products has cholesterol, but your liver can produce excessive amounts of cholesterol based upon what you consume. Are you following this? Okay, or maybe you may not have, or maybe there may be some sort of a dysfunction, or maybe you may not be exercising, not having any sort of activity or high fiber in the diet, and so forth. And it could be the transition, right? It could be some people may make a lifestyle change, maybe last week or a week before. I don't know the full history. So there's a few factors that you do want to keep in mind as well, as it pertains to cholesterol problems here as well. Okay. Now, these are things that we usually see can go down or normalize within a quicker time frame. Okay, sometimes within 1 month to 3 months. We've even seen under control measures that we have used here at the Wellness Center. We've even seen these blood pressure problems and so forth. We have seen it normalize within a few days. Right, within a few days of people making certain changes to their lifestyles as well. Okay, so I want to keep that in mind. Okay, right. So next thing that we want to look at here is, how do you use garlic? We're going to look at one way to do that. I'm also going to mention other ways to do that as well. Okay, other ways to do these things as well. Okay, so garlic honey mix. Now, this is an ingredient that you can use. 1 teaspoon of garlic crush. Now, it may depend on how many garlics you put in a teaspoon. I'm not sure, because the size of the garlic may vary. 1 teaspoon of crushed garlic. Then you can put 2 teaspoons of honey. Okay, that's basically to help you to bring that down, because garlic burns. Okay, it burns. So basically the honey helps tremendously. Now, if someone is hypertensive and also a diabetic, then that may not be the best remedy to use. Okay, because of the honey is going to spike glucose levels. So keep that in mind. I'm going to look at some other things that you could do with the garlic as well. You can mix this together, and you can take this about twice a day. Now, another remedy that can be used is taking about 5 cloves of garlic. You want to steam that garlic. Lightly steam the garlic. Then you want to put that on your salad. Okay, you can crush it on your salad. You can chop it up on your salad. And then you want to eat 5 cloves of garlic. You can do that every day with your salad. That can also help tremendously. Now, another way in which you can use the garlic as well is by taking an entire bulb of garlic, chopping it up, put it in a pot of about 3 cups of water, 1 bulb of garlic, and then you make a tea out of that. And drink about a cup twice a day. That's another way to be able to consume the garlic as well. Garlic is a blood thinner as well, right? And so you want to keep that in mind. So if you are on blood thinning medication as well, you do want to be very careful how you use the garlic, right? And you definitely want to be able to check yourself regularly as well to ensure that you're not experiencing what is called low blood pressure. You want to keep that in mind, not because of the garlic per se, but because the medication can drive it down a little bit lower when the garlic balances it off. Now, the good thing about natural remedies, for the most part, is that they balance. They balance these things, right? Bring it back into a balance, okay? So that's one thing that you do want to keep in mind. So now we're going to move on to diabetes, because there's so much more we can talk about when it comes to blood pressure issues, right? There's so much more we can get into with this. And I know that lots of people experience this. We have worked with, lots and lots of people with this problem, especially in our community, my friends. We have a lot of people suffering with blood pressure problems, and you do want to get this under control. Now, because of time, I have a little gift for you, okay? I have a gift for you here today, okay? Because of time, I have a gift for you. So I want you to keep that in mind. I want you to take a screenshot of this, and I want you to download this book. This here, you're going to download the free guide, right, of natural remedies to lower blood pressure naturally. So what I've done here is put all of this and more in a little book for you. It's a digital book now. You're not going to get this mailed to your house, okay? I want to put that. I want you to keep that in mind, okay? Once you go to that link, right, you put in your name and email, then guess what? You get it. You get it instantly to your inbox. You get it right away to your inbox. I have all the notes here. If you thought I was going too fast, you didn't have time to record all the details, well, don't worry, because it's all in this guide just for you. I'm going to give you some time to take a picture of this. If somebody can write this down for us and put it in the chat, that will be very, very helpful for somebody to be able to access this. My friends, that can save a life. And guess what you can do too as well? You can take this link and share it with your friends and family. That is totally fine. Share with people, get the resource information out there, because we want to be able to give as much as possible so that you are able to equip yourself and your family and have a resource that you can use to be able to lower blood pressure naturally as well. So I want to take it down. If somebody can put it in the chat here for us, so you can grab this information and share it with friends, share with family, and so people can actually experience healing as well. Okay. So now the next thing we're going to look at here today. Thank you so much, Merle, for that as well. Put it in the chat. So it's in the chat. Take a look at it there. Okay. So the next thing that we're going to look at here today is natural remedies to fight diabetes. Natural remedies to fight diabetes. Now, let me look at my time, because it looks as if, okay, natural remedies to fight, we have some time left. Natural remedies to fight diabetes. Now, diabetes is rampant, right? It is rampant. As you can see here as well, it's among America's top killers. It's among America's top killers. I know some of us here today may have diabetes or know somebody with diabetes. Are you following this? So we want to be able to arrest, this issue, right? We want to be able to solve this problem, right? And these are issues that can be solved if you make the change. If you are diligent enough, disciplined to make that change, my friends. And if you aren't, the Bible lets us know that I can do all things through Christ, which gives me the strength. Are you seeing this? God is able to give you the strength to implement these things. Now, with diabetes now, you must go back to the root cause. Now, one of the main issues affecting people with diabetes is that of dietary fat. Not only that, but also fat on the body. Studies have also shown if you're diabetic, if you lose about 10% of your weight, you can almost cut your diabetic levels by about half. That's what some of the studies have suggested. Also as well, so weight loss is critical with diabetes as well. Also, especially, I'm talking about type 2. I'm going to be focusing here on type 2 more specifically, okay? Type 2 diabetes. That's what I'm talking about here today, okay? Type 2 diabetes. So cutting down the weight, even that of dietary fats, my friends, through especially animal fats, animal products, right? Flesh items, okay? Butters and, cheese and so forth, my friend. Even that so that over time could affect your pancreas from effectively, right, producing what is called insulin. Are you following this? Okay, that is critical. And I'm also going to show you some things here today, some remedies that I probably never talked about, because we have been looking into diabetes for some time now, because people have been experiencing serious problems with diabetes. if the pancreas is having a serious issue, I'm going to show you here today how you're able to build that up over time. Okay, how you're able to build the pancreas up and its function over time. I'm going to be sharing with you that today. And these are some remedies that some old-time doctors used to use back in the days, right? And also the effectiveness of these things is amazing, my friends, amazing. Okay, so we look at here today. So diabetic juice. So this is the exact juice remedy that we have used at the Wellness Center. Now, I'm holding nothing back here tonight, okay? I'm holding nothing back here. I'm giving you the stuff, giving you all the information that you need, because I believe that time is short and people need to have that information in their hands, okay? In their hands. And if we were in a different setting, we'll be showing you exactly how to prepare and make and know how to do all these things. And you're gonna, it's gonna be so much, it's gonna be amazing. Hopefully someday, I don't know, we may have time to do that, okay? Diabetes juice here. 4 ounces of string beans. Now, string beans has, right? Somebody said that's a hard drink to ingest. Well, you know what? It is a hard drink to ingest for some people, right? And that's a good thought right there. But I tell you, diabetes is a hard disease to live with. Okay, this is very problematic. It may be simple at first, but over time, it can truly cause a lot of problems. It can cause a lot of problems over time. That's why we have to take care of that diabetic condition that you experience now, right? Now, are you following this? You have to do that now. You cannot wait, right? You can't wait, because over time, the wear and tear that it has on your pancreas, right, over time can cause serious amounts of issues. There's so many other issues associated with diabetes, although how simple this may be, over time can cause havoc. So what you may need is 4 ounces, and that's juice string beans, okay? Juice string beans, okay? String beans, green peas, different ways of which you can say it. String beans. There's a lady, I remember when they had that hurricane in Puerto Rico that hit Puerto Rico, and this lady was on insulin, and basically she had to keep it refrigerated, and therefore it went bad, and she didn't know what to do because there was no electricity. She didn't know exactly what to do, so she called and she wanted some help. So what we told her was, I said, can you get to a market? Is any markets open right now? What I want you to do is buy all the string beans you can buy. Okay, get the string beans. So she did this, and she was able to prepare those string beans, my friends. And she said that thing kept her blood sugar levels normalized. And she was able to do that because she was in an emergency situation where she actually needed something right away because she couldn't use her insulin, right? It went bad, right? So she had used this, my friend. So we're going to look at here today. So there's many ways in which you can prepare the string beans. Some people may ask, you know what, can you prepare the string beans and you can eat the string beans? Absolutely, yes, you can do that. You can prepare the string beans. You can make it as delicious as possible. And you know what I mean? And put it in there. So you just want to wash it nicely, keep the tips on. Wash it nicely. You can cut it in half and so forth. You can steam it. You can saute it. You can prepare it in a delicious way, and that's a great dish to have as well if you are diabetic. Okay, if you are diabetic. And Rose Thomas said here, it's better than amputation and blindness. I guess you're talking about if this is a hard drink to drink. Well, amputation and blindness is worse, right? It is worse than drinking the drink for a short time. Are you following this? Okay, drinking for a short time. Now, also as well, my cousin was experiencing blindness from diabetes, okay? Blindness, I'm talking about somebody that was legally blind, okay? As a result of the severe diabetic condition. And my friends, you wouldn't believe it. After 1 year of lifestyle change and making the right choices, she was able to reverse that, and now she can see and work and move. Are you following me? My friends, this is amazing what has happened in her life, okay? Amazing in what has happened in her life as a result. So yes, we have seen people's blindness, so forth, being reversed and so forth. My friends, it's amazing to hear these powerful things and stories from people. You know what I mean? And that's something that we have seen, we have heard with our own ears and with our own eyes. Okay. Like I said that before, this is not just theory that we're going over here today. We're going over things that have been used and proven. And I can share with you stories after story after story when it comes to these things. Okay. Now, string beans, like somebody mentioned here in the chat as well. I'm kind of following the chat here as I talk. Okay, following the chat as I talk. So, string beans has what is called inulin, which is almost sounds similar to insulin. Are you following this? Because it helps. It helps, my friends, the body to be able to balance the to balance the sugar over time as well. So we have seen this: 4 ounces of string beans, 4 ounces of cucumber, 4 ounces of celery, 4 ounces of kale. In that case, sometimes the kale may be, you might actually use a lot of kale to get 4 ounces of kale. If you don't have a lot of kale to use 4 ounces of kale, then you can double the cucumber, because the cucumber will make that drink a little bit more pleasant, okay? A little bit more pleasant. So instead of the kale, if you don't want to use a lot of kale, because it may take a lot of kale to use 4 ounces of kale, then you can use 8 ounces of cucumber, 4 ounces of celery, and 4 ounces of string beans, right? String beans. So you want to use that. So therefore, drink about 4 ounces. You're going to make 4 ounces each and drink about 2 cups of that twice daily. 2 cups of this twice daily, okay? And my friends, when we have used this at this center here, I mean, in most cases, we have seen people where their blood sugar levels have normalized within days, right? Within days of using this together with the lifestyle changes. And I want to stress on that as well, okay? Lifestyle change is key. It is key, foundational. We do not want to overlook the changes. So what are some lifestyle changes for diabetics? What are some lifestyle changes then, okay? Number 1, exercise. Get on an exercise routine. Okay, you want to exercise regularly. Drinking water. Some may say, well, I'm already using the bathroom so much. Well, that's a good thing, because the body is trying to get rid of the excessive amount of sugar. So all I need to do now is increase my water intake so I can use the bathroom a little bit more. Just keep in mind that that's just for a short period of time. Right? You want to be well. That's the goal in mind, okay? You want to never forget that, right? Some people may say, well, it's unpleasant. And some people may say things like this, when it comes to generally changing your lifestyle and so forth, people may say, well, it's expensive to live healthy. It's expensive. Well, let me tell you this. It's expensive to be sick. Are you hearing me today? It's expensive to be sick. It's so expensive, it can cost you your life. Are you hearing me? It's so expensive, it can cost you your life. I hope you're hearing me here today. Okay, so just a few dollars more won't hurt, because disease doesn't only come with a cost, monetary cost. It costs you time. It costs you pain with family and friends. You know what I mean? It can even cost the grave. Okay, so my friends, we have to invest. We have to change the way that we think about our health, right? We have to change the way that we think about our lives and about our health. That is so critical. It's so important to lifestyle changes and choices, okay? So you make this one, somebody said, if you make this one time and serve twice a day, that's right. You can make this one time, serve twice a day. You can also make this one time, right? Make it one time and you can serve it up to about 2 days as well, okay? It all depends on how fresh you get these items. It may last you for at least 3 days as well, okay? At least 3 days. It all depends on how fresh you get those items, okay? But what we like to do is use it within a day, but I know that sometimes it's not practical for people to be doing these things like juicing every day sometimes because of circumstances and so forth. You can always do it refrigerated, keep it in a cool, sealed container, and then you can use that 2 cups twice a day. Now, every time you serve it, you do not want to serve this cold. You want to serve this, body temperature, okay? It's important for you to serve this at a body temperature. That's the best way to take in any type of remedy or any liquids, okay? You always want to take it in body temperature. Now, another thing that we're going to look at here today is another item here is chicory root. And some of us may hear about chicory root, right? Yes, you can omit the kale, right? Or you can use it, okay? If you omit the kale, I'm just answering Sister Pauline's question here. If you omit the kale, then you just increase or double the cucumber, okay? So you can make the 16 ounces altogether. Hopefully that makes sense. The other remedy we're going to look at is chicory root, okay? Chicory root. Now, keep in mind that chicory root may increase bowels, okay? So if you're taking this, it may increase bowels. So that's why you must take this, you monitor yourself. And sometimes it may be a good thing for some individuals as well, because sometimes they may be constipated and so forth. They may want to increase bowels. So chicory root may lower blood sugar in people with diabetes, okay? Now, a 2-month study in 49 women with type 2 diabetes found that taking 10 grams of inulin per day led to significant decreases in blood sugar levels and A1C, hemoglobin A1C, a measurement of average blood sugar compared with taking a placebo. So we have seen the effectiveness of chicory when you use that, especially the chicory powder. You can get a chicory root powder, use as recommended, or you could even use up to 10 grams based upon the ingredients. The facts, the supplement facts behind the package, right? You may want to check it out as well and see what is the equivalent of 10 grams per day. So chicory, chicory can be used in water, diluted in water and so forth, and drink that down. Use as recommended on the package. You can get the powder and so forth. We have used that with people with diabetes and so forth. Sometimes we had to stop and decrease the dosage within 3 days, because we have seen that the blood sugar levels are normalizing so fast that we had to be able to do that. Now, keep in mind that if you're trying any of these things, you want to be able to test yourself. If you are on insulin, you have to be very careful as well, because you do not want to be in a situation where you have extreme low blood sugar levels. You want to keep that in mind, especially if you are on medication. And that's something that we have to monitor people. You monitor yourself constantly to at least, it all depends on how high your sugar levels are, but you have to monitor yourself because you do not want to go into a place where you have low blood sugar. That's why sometimes I always like to use just a little bit if you're trying this at home, and just increase it, incrementally, right? Start small, increase incrementally to see how it affects you and impacts you. So you do this in a very safe way, okay? A very safe way. So chicory, you can get this online. You can get this online. You can get the powder as well online. Do keep in mind that it does increase bowels sometimes. If you're doing it too much, it may even produce what is called loose bowels. So you do want to keep that in mind too. It has inulin in there as well. Chicory has inulin in there as well, so it's very effective that way. Now, another thing that we want to look at here today is that of the seed of the cedar berries. Okay, we're going to look at cedar berries. Okay, so what I want to do here as well, let me just make a quick change here on this, is now the cedar berries, it's important for you to be able to understand how this thing actually works. Now, I'm going to look at something here very important here when it comes to the cedar berries, okay? Now, sometimes some of you, maybe the first time actually hearing about this is not a common remedy that you may find in any book like that. These are things that we have really dug and find and tested and seen the effectiveness of this and used by doctors in times past as well. Okay, so let me just go back to my screen here. Some of you may say, well, where's the screen? It's gone. Okay, I'm gonna go to the screen here. So don't worry, I'm coming back right here. Let me share my screen with you so that we can actually go into the cedar berries. You can see exactly what it looked like. And let's see exactly what it looked like here even now. So let me share that screen with you. So cedar berries, okay? Cedar berries. Now, this is what it looked like, okay? And some of you may be like, what? Cedar berries? We call it juniper berries sometimes, okay? And this is what it looks like. We started using this when we started studying this a little bit more, started finding a lot of information from old-time physicians that used to use these remedies, and seeing that with cedar berries, once used for a period of time, they actually found that it really helps to rebuild the pancreas over time, my friends. It was amazing with these discoveries, right? Amazing with these discoveries. So the cedar berries, what can be done with it is about eating about about 6 of them, maybe about 3 times a day, okay? 6 of these berries, you can chew on them about 3 times a day. You can do that with your meals, okay? Do that with your meals and so forth. Chew on these things 3 times a day. And we have seen also, you can even make a tea out of them too. You can even make a tea out of them as well, okay? You can make a tea out of these cedar berries. There's different ways in which you can use this, okay? You can ground this up into a powder and so forth, and put it in some water and drink that down, okay? Now that over time can actually rebuild the pancreas over time. And we found out that people who have done this over a period of time, the pancreas function has improved, and also they had to get off of their medication because they have seen dramatic improvements. Of course, sometimes it may take a little bit of time, but this really helps to rebuild. These are the cedar berries, okay? So that's one thing here too as well, okay? So a few other points here when we look at for lowering blood sugar is, some things that can be used is aloe vera, bitter melon. Some of us heard about bitter melon, fenugreek, even string beans as well. We looked at that before. And, there are so many others that we can mention, but I'm just going to keep it simple here today, okay? Simple here today. So I pray that by God's grace that this has been helpful to you as you looked at these remedies for diabetes. Now, we're going to go over a few things here even now. So cedar berries, you can get this online. I wouldn't say you find this at a typical or regular store. Maybe you can, but you want to get this online. Okay, you want to get this online. Usually we buy them in bulk, right? We get a lot of these things in bulk. Lots of people don't really use, some people don't really use it much that way. But we found out we use it, so you can get this in bulk, you can get this online, different herb shops online and so forth. You can get access to that as well. So natural remedies to fight other conditions as well. So we're going to look at some of the symptoms of COVID and maybe some generalized conditions here. I know some people may have other issues that may be not related to comorbidities and so forth. We're going to talk about some general issues here as well, okay? Okay, so. All right, beautiful. I see here. So Pastor Daly here, okay, it's calling me. Okay, good. Go ahead, Pastor Daly.
Oh yeah, remember it's time for us to do that survey for those who need to keep in touch with us. It's as a community we're developing, and then we could go in some other these to end up. So could you do that now?
Absolutely. So I'm going to do that right now. So what I'm going to do here as well is let me show you something here too today, because we want to know how best we can continue to serve you that have joined us here today. Okay, we want to see how best we can continue to serve you. So what I want to do here as well is to be able to, let me go over a quick survey here that I would like you to take some time out to even fill out. Okay, it's a very quick and very short, it takes you a few seconds to do that. All right, so let me just put it on the screen really quickly. I took off my screen, I'm going to put it back. All right, so I want you to be able to do a survey really quickly so we can know exactly how best we are able to serve you, okay? We're able to serve you better. So let me go ahead and share my screen with you. So I want you to take that link down. What I'm going to do here is, well, I'm also going to put it in the chat so you can have a copy of that link. It's only going to take you probably 60 seconds to fill it out, so we can know exactly where you are, in terms of how best we can continue to be a blessing to you with the healing of the nations as well, okay? How best we can be a blessing to you. So let me go ahead and share my screen right now so you can have a copy of that, okay? So this is my screen here. What I want you to do is go to this link here, okay? I'm gonna put this down here. You wanna fill this out. And that link, I just put it in the chat here. We're just taking a short break here as well. So you want to be able to take that link, right? I put it in the chat as well. You want to fill it out. And therefore you want to be able to just share information as well. It's going to be a quick interest survey just to see what your interests are, right? We want to know how best we are able to serve you. So just take some time out to fill it out. You can click that link, take some time out to fill it out so we can know how best we are able to serve you. Pastor, do you have anything else to share on that?
Oh, that's awesome, Renee. So I could just take that link and put it in my cell phone, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. That's correct.
Okay, because
Yes.
we're gonna have these seminars quite regularly. The next one will be the second weekend in the new year, right? That we're gonna have much more.
Yes.
Some of the testimonies that we couldn't take today, we'll have them. And then say something about the healing of the healing for hurting world that's coming up, and what we're gonna do there, and so forth, and how these folks can be a part of it, and how they can help to bring others to be a part of it.
Absolutely beautiful. So yeah, so we are having a health, hope, and healing series that are coming up, right? And you do not want to miss that series as well. Okay. The whole point of this
Oh, it was
series is to
you
be
in
able to
Kristen's house?
provide and to give an answer to the hurting world, okay, to what we are experiencing in our world today. So it's going to be a health, hope, and healing series that you don't want to miss. It's going to be from the dates January the 14th to the 5th as well. We want to know how best we are able to serve you in that time frame as well. Even before that, we're going to have another session just like this to share more practical resource just for you, and how you can help with this series as well is to invite your friend, right? Invite your friend, invite your family members to be a part of this as well. It's open to anyone and everyone anywhere in the world. Once they have an internet connection, then they're able to join on this series. So we want to be able to keep in touch with you, to let you know what's going on, to let you know when it's coming up again. So you are always reminded of when these things are happening. So it's not like you just hear about it today, right? We want to tell you in advance. So you have this information in advance to be a blessing to yourself and your family as well, okay?
And also, Monet, when we have it on the 8th of next month, again, we want people to come back with testimonies who have tried some of these remedies for their BP and for diabetes, and come back with some testimonies. You know, remember now, to know and not to do is not to know. You can hear about it, know about it, but unless you do it, you don't know it. So to know and not to do is not to know. Faith without action is dead. If you know these things, happy are you if you do them. So between now and that time, if you put these things into practice with the faith in God, it will work miracles. And Monet, I like the approach that you take, because you're going to the root of some of these things that can really help us to limit our chances of contracting the virus. These underlying our pre-existing conditions. I like that approach. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Beautiful. Thank you
It's
so much as
it's
well for that, Pastor
powerful.
Billy.
It's powerful, Monet. You have given us $1,000 worth of information. It's going to be up to us now if we're going to put them into process. If somebody should come to a wellness center to do all this, how much would it cost them money?
Yes, it can cost quite a bit, you know, to be able to come and so forth. You know, praise God, by Eden Lifestyle, we try to make it as affordable as possible. And even at Victory Wellness Center too, we try to make it as affordable as possible. But the information that we are sharing with you here today, my friends, don't take it lightly. Don't take it lightly. It's not just knowledge. When we start to apply these things, then you will start realizing, whoa, this is amazing. You know, how much more you can experience. And that's why we want to get this resource out to as many people as possible, because we don't know how long these communications will last. I don't know how long these things are going to last. There's so many things happening in our world. So we have to give these resources as fast as possible, get it out so that many of us know how to care for ourselves and also for our families, okay?
And you know what happened, Money? For those of us here who are Seventh-day Adventists, and maybe some of you are affiliated with us, we know that in the end of time, we will not be able to buy ourselves except we have the mark of the beast, and that mark of the beast will compel you to worship Satan and mankind and the Antichrist, you know, whatever you want to call it. But that system is coming soon. That means you will not be able to go to the hospital, right? You will not be able to go to the drugstore, the pharmacy. So the time right now to learn about disease, its causes, prevention, and cure is now. Folks, do not take this thing for granted. None of us know that we would be in this situation right now with COVID. Some of us already, we are suffering already because of this world. But right now, We are sharing this with you, beloved. We want you to come. And Monet has provided one of these books, Advanced Natural Remedies Training Manual. And he has even given us at the Victory Wellness Center there. If you want to get a copy, you'll call 845-444-9120. 845-444-9120. Somebody put that in the chat for us. 845-444-9120. It has a lot of natural remedies, cleansing, and we thank you for that, Monet. We have mentioned this before. We have mentioned it for a while, folks. We buy a lot of junk and give out in the holidays. A lot of things that people just store away. This is something that you can get for them, and you can get this for $60 and more if you if you give a contribution of $60 and more to the Wellness Center. And again, what was the number? Is a number there? Jennifer put it there for us so that people can get it. And 845-444-9120. Folks, a word to the wise is sufficient. My college president used to say it to me. So please, it's just, I'm so excited, Monet, for the Lord is using you. It's great that somebody said, Vera, I need that book, right? And you could also call Jennifer, put your number there. Just put your number there too. They could call and it will be mailed to you. You could use Zelle or Cash App and it will be mailed to you. This is amazing, all right? It is a telephone number, right? Yes. We need to even have the, we didn't bring up the link for with the Cash App and Zelle stuff so that you could order these things. That's amazing. It's right there, okay? It's right there. God has blessed you, young folks, and what Monet is sharing with you, this is a life of experience, not something that he read from a book, but it's something that has been tested and tried with many people backed by research. We're just happy to have you guys and here with us this evening, okay? So Monet, is there anybody who is filling out that, are you seeing any results? People who are filling out that survey that you have there, how things are going?
Yes, I haven't checked as yet.
I know it's hard.
Here. Yeah, I don't want to. Yeah, I'll
don't
check
mess
afterwards.
Up your screen.
I
don't mess
trust
up
by
your
faith.
Screen.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
Also, for those of you, after you take this down, Monet, for those of you who want to give to the Healing of the Nations, we're going to have a sign up for you to give, because I know that you're giving to all sort of charities now, but think about those who are feeding you. And we're going to need the funds to help us with the outreach that's coming out. Okay. So you think they have had enough time to fill out the survey, Monet?
Yes, I think so. And take a screenshot of it. You want to save it as well,
Right.
Fill it out as well. What do I do? I did that. Okay, somebody said I did the survey. Beautiful. Okay, wonderful. So I'm going to trust by faith that you have filled it out. I'm going to take some time to review afterwards, afterwards as well. Okay.
I gave up
great.
1,000 cups. Hear what somebody said, Monet?
Yeah.
They gave out, it's moved. They gave out 1,000 copies. What did they say? I gave out 1,000 copies of the Healing of the Nation booklet in 2015, well received. Well, I don't know which one that is, but that's great. So Monet, just before you continue, I want the tech team to put up the slide that people can give to the Healing of the Nations. Dr. Ephraim, you could say something about that as they do that now, and then we will come back and take your question. We have about half an hour to go. Hey guys, go put it out for us now. All right, Dr. Ephraim, you go with that, please. Some people may not be able to see it. Some people may be on Facebook, so please. Okay.
If you would like to donate to the Healing of the Nations ministry, you have been blessed with all the things that you have heard. We have ways that you can give and donate. If you would like to Zelle to us, it's healing 072021@outlook.com. And that's the Zelle. I'll repeat it, healing 072021@outlook.com. Or you can Cash App by using $healing 072021. And again, the Cash App is $healing 072021. Or you can call 646-400-5720. Or you can take a picture of it. If you have your phones, you can take a screenshot or you can take a picture, whatever you'd like to do. So these are the ways that you can donate to us. We have been, educating you for the past several months, and you have been blessed. So when you're being blessed, you share the blessing. Okay?
Amen. I like that. I like that. You're having a special program next week, Extending Your Life at this time next week. What is that all about? And what is it?
Yes, next week we'll be having a special international concert to give glory to God. And it's also for a donation for us to start our benevolent fund. We are concerned about those amongst us who have lost their jobs or are suffering. So we want to be able to help each other. So come on out next weekend and be ready to, like I said, you have received the blessings, so now it's your turn to give back, to bless someone else, because we want to start that benevolent fund so that we can help others who have lost their jobs or just going through hard times at this time. So we have blessed you. So we're looking forward to you blessing us next week as well.
Suppose they are good singer like Courtney and I. Can we call you up and give an item?
Oh, yes. And if you'd like to be a part of the concert, please, you can always call our number or leave a message, 646-400-5720. If you want to send a video of you singing, or if you want to come on and sing live, or if you want to say a poem, whatever it is, we appreciate you. And we'll be grateful to have you on our concert next week. It will start at 5 p.m. So remember, after you finish having dinner with your family, come and let's give glory to God. Thank you.
Amen. Amen. And for those of you who want to contact us by email, what's that email again? I'm trying to see. The email is HON, H-O-N, which means Heal Up the Nation, .ministry@gmail.com. Somebody put in the chat for us, hon.ministry@gmail.com. And we're going to try to put this on YouTube for those of you who miss it. Right now it's on Facebook, NEC Health Ministries. You could go there and watch it, but we're going to ask our tech team to put this on YouTube, which is the Healing of the Nation Ministry. Healing of the Nation Ministry. That's our YouTube channel. We're going to put it there so you guys can go back and watch it and send your friend to watch it if they could not do it right now, right? All right, I think those are, and remember now, on Saturday mornings at 7 o'clock, we have an early morning health program. It's all health. I won't tell you that one of the world best presenters there, and people are discovering it and they are coming. You can just come, go back to your church after that or whatever, or hang on with us. And Wednesday night at 7 o'clock, we have our health, healing, and restoration and prayer service on Wednesday night. So there's a lot of service that we offer for anybody who wants to get better health now and going into the next year. Thank you very much, brother, folks. Money, it's back up to you to bring this thing to an end.
Great, great, great. Thank you so much for that, Pastor Daly. We're going to go right into continue from where we left off. And we're going to try to cover as much as we can. We know we have a short time. And I know that we have many questions here as well that you have asked. Okay, so we're going to try our best to cover a few things here today. Okay, so one of the things that people experience as well is headaches when it comes to COVID-19 and severe migraines, severe headaches and so forth. One way which you can help with headaches is that of 3 drops of peppermint oil, half a cup of water, 1/8 of a teaspoon of cayenne, pepper as well. Mix that thoroughly in water. You drink that down and repeat until the relief is obtained. Right now, there's another remedy that can be used for headaches is drinking water. Like drinking about a cup of water every 10 minutes for 1 hour, right? For 1 hour. Okay. And so that's a way in which you can actually do this. So that's a great way for headaches. Okay. So another remedy that we're going to look at here today is vomiting. But I'm gonna skip some of those. I'm gonna go into some of the meaty greedy of some things here. There's lots of things that we want to share with you when it comes to muscle pain. We know some people experience in certain types of pains, muscle pain, and so forth. That's a remedy for muscle pain, right? People who experience certain types of muscle pain with beeswax, or vegetable fat, 2 cups of peppermint oil, 2 tablespoons of camphor oil, 6 teaspoons of cayenne pepper in there mixed together, and you apply this as an ointment on the muscle that has been impacted as a result. Okay, that's one way we've seen in which you can help with different types of pain that people are experiencing. Another thing here too is bladder and urinary infections. For some people may have bowel urinary infection. That's just some generalized conditions as well. Cranberry juice can work excellent for that bladder infections. We know some people experience these things. Even that of cinnamon mixed helps to destroy germs in the bladder. I'm talking about cinnamon powder with honey, lukewarm and so forth, lukewarm water. And yeah, so we're just going to be going over this a little bit quicker here today. Okay. Another thing here too is renal problems. People who have renal failure, kidney problems. Okay. Now we have been noticing a tremendous amount of people that experience in kidney disease, kidney issues. It's becoming very serious today. We actually work with a lady that had a 5% function of her kidneys and saw that over a period of time, how that function was continuing to be improved as a result of being on a comprehensive approach and a program for this condition. Now, one important seed that can be used is called nettle seed. I'm not sure anybody heard that before, right? Nettle seed can be used, especially if somebody is at a point where the kidneys are about going to failure or renal failure. Then you want to be able to take that nettle seed tea, mix 1 tablespoon of nettle seed or root tea. Boil that for 5 minutes and strain and drink that about twice a day, especially for people who are experiencing where they're about to go into renal failure and so forth. That's a good way to help, at least to aid, to save the kidneys, Also, kidney pod tea, using 1 cup of kidney pod in 1 quart of water, boil for 3 minutes, and drink about 3 ounces twice daily. This can actually help to heal the kidneys over time. Now, these are some remedies that can be used, of course, with renal failure and kidney problems. There's a comprehensive approach that we have, but these are the key things that we currently use as well for that condition and for that issue. Now we're going to gloss over a few quick things that I want to highlight for to fight Corona naturally, and then we're going to be opening up for some questions too as well that you may have. So the program that we're going to look at is that you want to be able to make lifestyle changes and have lifestyle changes in your life. So one of the things is drinking lots of fluids. Okay. Now COVID is very deadly, or some people have experienced, short-term and long-term effects, even extreme tiredness as well. There's ways you can help with extreme tiredness. Some people may have no appetite at all, and that's where you need to be doing broths and so forth, because that's why people get so weak to a point where they faint or they knock out or they fall because they lose appetite and do nothing. It really makes you weak. So there's a few things that must be done as well with people who are experiencing this type of issue. Lots of fluids, sun exposure as much as possible. Keep in mind that if you're very, very weak, the excessive sun exposure may put you in a point where you can actually knock out, faint and so forth. So you do want to keep that in mind. Getting enough rest. Right, get enough rest. So we know that people are tired, they get enough rest, but at the same time too, you do want to get up from the bed, you do want to move around a little bit. You know that sometimes it depends when people tend to move, then they will experience what is called shortness of breath. So you don't want to take not long, walks and so forth, but just move the body a bit, get the body moving a little bit, right? So also stay active, staying active, having some sort of movement and motion as well, and trust in God God. Many people get to a state mentally as well where they just feel like all hope is lost. They just feel as if, wow, I can't believe this is happening to me, right? Because of all the scare and so forth that is associated with this virus and this disease, you do want to be able to cling to Jesus as never before, okay? So that's important. Also, whole food plant-based diet. There's so many studies showing us how a plant-based diet, plant-based nutrition is so important as it pertains to being able to fight this effectively as well. Especially for people who are experiencing it, may lose appetite. Doing broths may also help individuals too to get some energy levels up and so forth. And I mean, there's multiple things that we can do as well. Also, herbs and vitamins that for people who are actually going through this issue is elderberry syrup, vitamin C, vitamin D, even starting off with a colon cleanser or some sort of a bowel cleanser as well. Because we know that about 70% of your more of your immune system lives right in the colon. So it's very important to keep the colon cleansed, detoxified, to reduce the toxicity in there as well. So that's critical for you to keep in mind. So these are a few things among others that we can look at. We're going to explore even briefly here as well. So one of the key things that we have found out too is that the shortness of breath, the decrease in oxygen that people experience as well with COVID-19. So that's why you need water intake. That actually helps to, because water has oxygen. That's actually helps you as well with certain breathing and so forth, to also dilute and not keep so that you will not have like a thick mucus in the system. That is very, very key, because sometimes the mucus that people have can really destroy and really help basically decrease them from being able to breathe effectively. So that's why we must be on what is called mucus-less type of diet. It's very important, where you're not consuming animal products at that time, anything that may increase the mucus in the system, okay? So one thing that we have used is to help to improve breathing and oxygen uptake is by using menthol crystals. Menthol crystals. Now, if you have not experienced COVID-19 at all, or anybody who have anyone with COVID-19, one of the things that you want to have in your home, you need to have that in your herbal cabinet, okay, or your natural health cabinet. You need to have a vaporizer. That's something that we keep around all the time. My friends, if I tell you the amount of people that lives have been saved as a result of using a vaporizer to be able to help them with breathing, especially when you use the menthol crystals. It's very potent. It's not just the peppermint oil, you just put drops of peppermint oil, which is fine. If you do have peppermint oil, you can use drops of peppermint oil into this, but the menthol, it really helped to open up the upper area passageway and so forth to aid and allow you to breathe more effectively. So with people with hard times breathing, we keep that thing on in the room constantly. Now you don't want to put too much menthol crystals there, because it might get too strong. I mean, the smell and so forth may get too strong in the room. Just try a little bit at a time, and then put a little bit in, right, with some water, boil it up, let it steam throughout the room, and that really helps with somebody to breathe well. So that's one of the first things that we do, especially with somebody who has severe COVID, have problems breathing. We get this. You want to have menthol crystals in your home. I wouldn't tell you how effective that thing is. My friends, this thing is so effective. You need to have this in your home, and you need to have a vaporizer, because that's a good way to do it. Now, if you are from a different place where you may not be able to access a vaporizer, more readily, then what you can do, you can use a pot of boiling water, put the menthol crystals in there, and that pot can actually steam, right? Steam up, right? So you can get this online. You can get this menthol, you can get this vaporizer online. And also the menthol crystals, you can get a packet of it. You can get this online as well. You want to keep this in your home, because if I tell you the amount of people that have been helped, and also their breathing has been improved, even people with asthma where they can't breathe, or people who have breathing problems, shortness of breath, just by using the menthol with the vaporizer, put it in a corner of the room somewhere, and just let it fill the room. You will see, and even let somebody sleep throughout that as well. It really, really helps. Okay. Yeah. So menthol crystals, that's it's a good way. Just search it up. You will find it online. You can get a little packet of it as well. It's very strong. That's why it works so effective as well when it comes to breathing you know, helping people to breathe properly. Also, as well, we won't have time to get into the videos here today because, you know, there's so much more that we wanted to share with you. You know what, Pastor Dilly, what we're going to do, we're going to save some of these things for the next time that we come, because there's so much that we can get into here today. When it comes to cough syrup, people with coughs, and if you, now, let me just put this in there. If you don't have menthol crystals, then you can get peppermint. Okay, peppermint oil, especially if you're from a different place, you know, where menthol is not, you can't just go to the store and buy menthol crystals because people don't buy that normally, just from a supermarket or from a store. You can find it maybe at a pharmacy, may have that, but peppermint oil can be used as well. Okay, if you don't have the menthol, you can use the peppermint oil. It has menthol in there, so you can use that as well. This menthol is just the extract that's very, very potent. Steam inhalation, you can do the steam inhalation as well, to help to improve breathing, and you will see within minutes, sometimes within minutes, breathing can be improved. If I can tell you the amount of times people that have been helped with this vaporizer menthol, you will be quite surprised, my friends. Okay, so you can do the steam inhalation, where you can steam, you can have a pot of boiling water, put some peppermint oil drops in there. We have a demonstration for this to show you how to do this. We don't have time to cover this today, so I'm just going to skip over some of these things. And one thing that we want to look at here today, I want to spend a little bit of time here, is the super anti-plague. Yes, Pastor Daly.
You know what we do now, since we have 15 minutes to go, while you have given us a whole lot for today, if we could just probably hold this for the next session and take some questions.
Absolutely, we can do that. Beautiful.
Yes, and then we close off. We want to I know we want to stop at the due time, but you have given us a whole lot.
Yes. Yes, there is so much more to cover, my friend. So what we're gonna do here, we're gonna do some we're gonna answer some questions here for you. So if you can go ahead and you know, you can put your questions in the chat, and we can also open up the line for people. Raise your hands as well. Raise your hands, we can call on you, ask questions, so we can get into a few things here today.
And Monet, they need to fill out the survey if they haven't done that yet, so that we can keep in touch with them and they keep in touch with us. So they can know when the next thing is coming
so
up.
we can
and
let
they
you know
can
when the
bring
next
their
session
friends.
is coming. That's right.
Yes.
That's right. That's right.
So is it survey? Was it survey in the chat? Could we put it up back for 2 seconds or so, and then we take those hands?
Okay. Let me put the survey up here as well.
Yes.
I'm going to put this up really quickly. And what I want to do here, because of shortness of time, let me give you this other book. I want to give you this book here. Let me just give you that really quickly as well.
Yes, yes.
You want to get this book, grab this book. This is the ultimate guide to fight COVID-19 naturally. You want to download this book. We have hundreds of people that have downloaded this book from all over the world. It's a free guide that we've given out to everyone. And so you do want to be able to take this down. This is the link right here. Take the link. If somebody can put that in the chat for us, that'd be awesome. That'd be beautiful and awesome here, because we have a lot of information in there and more. I mean, we have even more to share, because we are learning about COVID every day, right? We're learning about these things. So this will help tremendously. You can take this book, you can share the link with your friends and family as well. If you speak another language, you can translate this into another language. Share it out in the local language wherever you are around the world. Want to get this information out before in the hands of as many people as possible. Okay, many people as possible. So,
and if they translate it, Monet, they could send a copy to you, because you will be doing this again. That would be very nice.
Absolutely. If you translate it in French, in Spanish, in Hindi, in whatever language that you speak, Arabic, just send it. If you send me a copy, that'll be awesome. We can produce another copy of it so we can share it with others as well. So that'll be awesome. That'll be awesome. Awesome. So let me just go there really quickly too.
Yes, we also want them to know that at the end of this service, if there's anybody who want to have a short chat with us in the prayer room, you could come in. We'll figure out what the needs are, and then we'll assign one of our medical missionaries to continue the process of working with you. So please also keep that in mind for those who are our guests here this evening.
Right. So this is the survey. If you haven't filled it out as yet, you want to take some time out to fill out the survey so we can know how best we are able to serve you. and also we can also inform you as well when we have in the next session. So you're always knowing exactly when we have the next session, because we have, as you can see, there's so much we need to cover here, my friends, and time is so short. Okay, so I want to take that down, take some time out to fill this out. So what we're going to do now, we're going to open up for some questions. We're going to open up for some questions here today. Yeah, so some of the information that is skipped, some of it is in the book, some of it is not in the book, Sister Margaret. So I wanted to keep that in mind, okay? Because we have developed and tweaked and changed over time, because we have used these things with people with COVID and so forth. And, we have modified and tweaked over the time, okay? So what we want to do here is open up for some questions. And I know that you're going to learn tremendous amount from questions as well, because people, there's many things that we sometimes we don't even cover, but the questions allows us to cover it. Okay, so take some time out to ask some questions. You can put it in the chat or raise your hand. We have one hand here from Favorite Child. If the tech team can assist me with that, that would be awesome. Okay, you can unmute yourself now, Favorite Child.
Okay, just one question. I saw in the last slide that you have with regards to the ingredients for COVID, you have golden seal. I'm wondering if you can't get golden seal, if you would recommend wild Oregon grape or wild Oregon powder.
The oil?
No, the powder itself, because I read where the ingredient
itself.
has a similar ingredient to that which is in golden seal.
Right. So in that case as well, for the remedy that we had before, if you don't have the golden seal, then you can just eliminate it. That's fine, because we do have the oregano in there too. It's going to work fine without that too, right? It's just that it's already effective by itself, so you don't necessarily need the golden seal if you can access that. Now, also golden seal it can be very expensive. So I do want you to keep that in mind. So for those people, for those individuals who can't access the golden seal, not able to, you can always eliminate it. It's totally fine. Okay?
Okay.
Yes, good. Sister Vera says she loves free gifts. What do you have? Yeah. Okay, anything for weight loss? Absolutely. So with weight loss, one of the key things here for weight loss is that of being able to make the changes, okay? One of the key things that we like to use for weight loss, though, because we work with an individual that weighed over 600 pounds. Are you following me here? I've never in my life seen that before, okay? So, but in about 2 weeks now, in his case, in about 2 weeks, he lost over 60 pounds. Somebody say, whoa, that's a lot of pounds. Well, that's a lot of weight. Okay. And his frequency of weight loss is faster than some others that may be less weight, right? So you don't want to keep that in mind, okay? You don't want to keep that in mind. So with weight loss, one of the key things is that you want to be able to eat fiber first, right? Fiber first, basically from vegetables. Lots of vegetables and so forth. So whenever you plate in your meals, you don't want to eat fiber first, and you want to eat as much as you're able to, right? Not when you get full, but right before you start feeling a little bit. And then you want to put like solid food after that, right? Cooked foods after that, okay? So what that does is that fiber kind of like just passes through your system, but it gives the impression that you're almost about full, right? So therefore, it kind of protects you from overeating for some people as well, and also controlling the amount that they consume, right, in the body. So weight loss, the most effective ways to do that is by, of course, you can burn fat by using the grapefruits and using the lemon waters and using in flax seeds as well, over salads, over meals, but eating lots of fiber, fresh fibrous foods as well. That also helps tremendously, along with exercise and so forth, right? Having a regular exercise routine, but it has a lot to do with how you consume and what you eat. There's so much more we can get into weight loss, but that is key. And also a key thing here too is not eating late at nights, because sometimes too, you know what, we eat late, right? We eat late at nights, and so you don't want to eat at nights. That's one of the main things that allow people to put on a lot of weight, or they eat the heavier meals more towards the evening time. You want to eat your heavier meals more towards the morning time, right? Because your body will use that as energy. More towards the evening times, your body converts a lot of these foods, especially sugars and so forth. Your body converts a lot of these things as fats, you know what I mean? So it stores. So you want to be able to eliminate late night eating and do your heavier foods, especially for breakfast time. And the later it get, the lighter it is. And so what you want to do is a few hours before bedtime, you want nothing on your stomach at all. So what can you do? Just drink liquids, drink fluids, drink water. And that's a great way to do that as well, okay? So somebody said, could I get the cough syrup, please? I need it for a patient. Okay, so the cough syrup, we do have that in that book, that the link that I had on the screen. So if you download that, we're gonna have the cough syrup in there as well. Okay, so you should have a copy of that. Okay, a copy of that. So somebody say, what can I use for eye floaters as well? There's different things you can use for that. For example, you can put cucumber on the eye, over the eyes and so forth. You can even do different poultices, clay poultices and so forth. That can actually help too, over the eye, not inside, but over the eye that is closed, right? You have a closed lid. So that can also help too as well. So what do you consider? Okay, let's see here. Anything for vision loss, H. pylori. Yes, there's things. We have an entire program for H. pylori as well. Vision loss too. One of the things that we have used is like lemon juice, 1 drop in each eye. That can also help to rebuild the eye over time. So that's one way that can be done as well. So lemon, we use lemon. We also use honey as well. 1 drop in the eye over time actually help. We actually seen it help with people with cataracts. We've seen it help with people with red eye or different eye conditions as well. It can actually help to improve that over time. And belly fat, belly fat is you can use the aloe, lemon water, flax seeds. All that can help to burn belly fat. All that can help to burn belly fat over time. Also doing doing like a cleanse, like a detox colon cleanse too, can actually help to reduce, because sometimes it could be that there's a lot of waste. The average American carries about 5 to 20 pounds of waste in their colon. Yes, it's almost like people are becoming a walking sewage system, right? So you want to be able to decrease that, eliminate that from the system by reducing that, by using the, different bowel cleansers that can actually help tremendously as well. Okay. So, okay, great. So another thing here too, somebody asked, I'm trying my best to see there's a lot of questions here. Don't feel anyway if some may be missed or skipped. I don't intend to do that. So forgive me in advance, okay? Some things, if I don't know, I will just say I don't know, okay? So, and as well, okay? So let's see here as well. I'm doing my colon now, 6 day. Okay, great, Sister Leandra, that's awesome. Doing the colon cleanse, that's awesome. And that's great that you're doing that too, because this is great for you to do. Can you mix honey and lemon? Yes. If you want to make the lemon more palatable, yes, you can use the honey with it. Just be mindful, if you are diabetic, then you want to stay away from the honey. Okay, anything sweet can actually increase glucose. Even glycerin. I looked at studies online, and studies show, I look at the NIH, and they said that, glycerin doesn't really impact sugar, and we started to use it with diabetics, and then I started to see that, whoa, the sugar levels just keep going up. So then I realized that the glycerin actually played a big part in that. I'm talking about vegetable glycerin, so you don't want to keep that in mind too. Lecithin actually helps to reduce fat. That's correct. Lecithin is excellent. So you don't want to keep that in mind. H. pylori. Yes.
Monet, I was wondering if they meant if they could mix the honey and the lemon, because you talked about both of those for the eye.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you so much for that. Yes. So what you want to do is use it separately. You want to be able to do you can do the lemon in the morning, and you can do the honey in the evening. You don't have to mix it. So you can do that, do the drops. Now, also keep in mind that it may be strong for some people, very strong for them. Especially if you're trying this on a child, I will be very mindful, be very careful of trying this with a child, I'm talking about like a 10-year-old or a 12-year-old, it's going to really burn them and they're going to never want to see lemon again. Okay. So, so with children that may have red eye, because I know some people may want to try that, but what you want to do, you want to dilute that in distilled water. Distilled water. Anything you put in the eye, you got to make sure that you clean that lemon to whatever you put in there. You wash that really well. Distilled water, you dilute some lemon in distilled water. And then you can use it as an eye wash. Okay, that's a light way to do it. It doesn't sting much. It's an eye wash, and you can use an eye cup. You can use an eye cup. These are little things that you should have in your natural health cabinet. Okay, you should have eye cups. You should have cayenne. You should have charcoal. You should have clay. You should have menthol crystals. There's a list. There's a kit that you need to have at home. Okay. Because you need to keep those things, because you never know the issues that you will experience in your household and the times in which you most need it. That's when you want to get it, okay, as well. So we have a lot of questions, and I know that time is very short. We at 6:56 right now. My friends, there's so many questions. Okay, so we talk about stevia for as a sweetener. Yeah, just be mindful that you just want pure stevia. And sometimes they have all kinds of stuff added to this nowadays. You just want to be mindful if you use stevia for I'm assuming it's for diabetic. So you can use it as a sweetener. Just be mindful of the added ingredients. Okay. Somebody asked, where's a good colon cleanser I can order? You can go to easyseries.com and you can get a colon cleanser there. It's a great colon cleanser. Easyseries.com. I'm going to put it in the chat for you so you can have that there as well. Okay. Another thing here too, this honey for the eye has to be RAE. Can you repeat that one more time? Okay, I'm not understanding that question here. So I know that we have many questions about H. pylori. We have an entire program for H. pylori. What I want to do, I want to save that for the next session. We're going to go into H. pylori because it's a common issue. And we're going to also go into associated problems as well. There's a way to deal with H. pylori. There's a way to deal with that. Okay, so we want to get into that more details in our other session. We're going to save the chat. Okay, what we're going to do, we're going to save the chat because we want to cover some of those questions here that that you may have. Okay, I missed the link for the free ebook. Can you put it back on the chat, please? Can somebody help us out and put it back for Sister Janet? She wants to get the ebook link for the ebook link. My friends, our time is almost up. I want to honor our time, and we have so much more to get into here. And what we're gonna do here, we're gonna save a lot of these questions here. I'm so sorry for not answering some of your questions. There's so much more that we can do. You know what I can do here too as well for people who may need answers right away because you can't wait for another couple weeks to get there for this class. So may you have a list for recommended home supplies. I'm seeing all your questions here. There's so many questions here that you have. We want to get into some of those, but what I want to do here too as well is what we have put together to just, what we put together, and we have done, I want to put this out really quickly here. We have done an entire training here on natural remedies, advanced natural remedies. And I thought that it will be very beneficial for this group here today. Okay, there's so many questions that you have. Now, this training for natural remedies, we looked at a lot of natural remedies here today, but this training is different in that we're not just talking, we are actually showing you how to prepare these things, right? It's like over 21 hours of natural remedies. I'm talking about over 21 hours, all kinds of natural remedies here. This is the link, bit.ly remedies course. You may want to get on this course, and I would encourage all of you to actually get it because you're going to learn so much from this as well. It's very, very practical. If somebody can put the link in the chat, that'll be awesome for you. Let me just show you really quickly what you are going to be getting there as well, so you can have an understanding of this natural remedies course. So of how much information that it has. So this here, over 300 students already took this course program. We go over things like the foundation to fight battle disease, science of herbology, natural kitchen emergency remedies, remedies to fight cancer and other top killers, cleansing the eliminatory system, how to cleanse the entire body, women's workshop, dealing with women's diseases. I mean, it's very like practical demonstrations. COVID-19, natural remedies for beauty and so forth, how to take care of your body, how to take care of yourself. we're not just talking. This is like demonstrative information, right? We show you exactly how to do this. Over 21 hours of doing this as well. This is all that people get here. And it's a small, it's a small investment of $97. You can see the value here for this. It's a small investment of $97. We really want to give people information here at a very reasonable price, where you can get 21 hours. You're going to get 18 digital guides, 18 booklets we're going to give you in this as well. You're going to get a manual. You're going to get, many different things here as well as part of this training. So this is all the information that we go over. It's a lot. It's very extensive, very detailed. It's way more than what we went over here today. Okay. So I really wanted to have that information at hand. You want to go on this link. This is the link you want to click on. You want to get this right away as well. It's going to go into, as soon as you sign up, you're going to get access to this course right away. It's not a date. It's like on demand. So you're going to have it unlimited access. You can access it anytime. You can access it in any device that you have, that you have internet on, whether if it's your phone or a tablet or your computer. You can watch information right there. You can download the resources right away. So you can get like almost instant access to this, and you can watch it. You can take the course at your own pace. Okay. At your own pace. So basically that's how you can get some more information on that as well for the Natural Remedies course. So what I want to do, I'm going to put it in the chat for those that need to get access to it. I'm going to put it in the chat here, and you can be able to click on it as well. Okay, click on it as well. Natural Remedies. Somebody asked how much is it? The investment is only $97 for it, and basically, it's we try to make it as affordable as possible so people can have access to everything, and it just goes as a small donation to a ministry as well, so we can continue to do what we do. As people may know, we do this full time in this work. That's all we do: help people full time into this and to assist them all over the world, basically. So, I want to thank you so much as well. I know that time is short, Pastor Daly. I wanted to respect the time. And we said we'll end 7:02. I apologize for 2 minutes over, but I'm so grateful to be here with you. And I'm excited again to come on to share much more that we're going to look at again on our next session.
Well, Money, that was awesome. Praise the Lord for you, man. That was just so powerful. And guys, just write in the chat if you were blessed, or says blessed, or whatever. If you were not blessed, no be. All right, just put it there in the chat for us right now before we pray, okay? If you were blessed, you want to say thanks, blessed. Go on, everybody. Man, it was great to have you guys. Without you, the program would be of no value, but we're glad to have you, and we want you to be an ambassador of the Healing of the Nations ministry. Remember, on Wednesday night, again, we have health healing, and then on Sabbath morning, Saturday morning, 7 o'clock, Courtney has early morning health. That's awesome. And then in the afternoon, we have that special concert fundraising for those people who have lost their jobs and are struggling. Remember to submit your items, okay? And I'm going to pray with you now. And we've been here for a long time. It's time for you to get up and move a little bit. And then we're going to end with the same song, We Shall Overcome, right? Father, we thank you for the blessings that you have bestowed upon us this evening. We thank you for this young Dr. Mune and the powerful ways in which you have used him this evening. Thank you for the entire Extending Your Life Naturally team and our tech team. And help us to know, Lord, that you not only promised to keep us in health, but you said, Lord, you not only promise health, but as we follow these instructions, it enhances our chances to avoid a number of these conditions. I pray that you'll help us to be careful this holiday season. I pray that you'll bless us and be gracious unto us. And even those of us who are not feeling well now, I pray that we'll take away some of the stuff that we have learned here this evening so that we can enhance our health and the health of our family. The healthier we are, the more we can serve humanity, the more we can bring glory to you. And I just want to thank you again. May your blessings continually be upon Eden Lifestyle as they bring forth this message of health and healing. Thank you for hearing our prayers. And for those of us who are here tonight and we're not yet saved, not ready, it's time to make our call and election sure. So if you are here and you're not yet ready to meet your Lord, you could meet us in the prayer room. Raise your hands quickly. The tech team will put you there. If you need some Bible studies, if you need some health advice or counseling, these 3 areas, you could come in the room and we'll talk with you for a while and assign somebody to help you. We want to follow you through until you enjoy better health. So just raise your hands if you need that service. If not, you call us at 646-400-5720, 646-400-5720. And we'll meet our team in the prep room. And for those who need the service, we'll meet you in the prayer room. Thank you very much. We shall overcome. All right, guys, you could go for that now.
So much of good information.
Okay, we